Hi, I'm Dave Epstein, and welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. I'm here with my special guest, Kurt Upham, and Kurt's the owner of a company called Oh Deer, and deer, it is Oh Deer because, boy, they are really a problem in many of our yards. They can devastate a yard.
They can. The deer population in the Northeast has really grown to substantial numbers. The deer have every yard in their crosshairs when it comes to wanting to eat and wanting to feed, whether it's a spring, whether it's a summer, pretty much every season.
So Kurt, you're saying that they're really a problem not only in spring and summer, but winter and fall as well. It's really a 365. If you have deer, they're going to be doing some damage at any point.
Absolutely. They're going to start in the spring. Well, actually, I should say they're going to start in January, and they're going to be looking for that, substance, any type of rhododendron, any type of evergreen that they can feed on, to get them through the winter. Especially, come the late winter, February, March, when those does are pregnant, they're going to actually feed even harder because they have to nourish the fetuses inside of them, and they're going to really feed hard just to nourish those fetuses and make sure they can get through the winter.
So Kurt, give me an example of some of the deer favorite food that they might be eating in the yards.
During the spring and summer, a lot of their favorite foods, Dave, are these hosta here that they certainly really enjoy. A lot of times during the spring, they'll come in as the hostas start to pop up in May. They're going to come in and they're going to start nipping off the tops. Only the reason they do that is because it's the real first green thing that they can find, along with bulbs in the early spring. They want to nip that off. They want that green. They want that nourishment, stuff that they haven't really gotten in the winter. They'll eat these hosta down to almost nothing. As you see, these hosta are fine, and these hosta here have been eaten. You can see the bite marks, and they've actually turned the hosta into a stalk of celery. These hydrangeas here, a lot of the time the deer will come up, Dave, and they just want this real that real tender shoot right there that they can eat, and it'll get them through the summer. A lot of people say to me, "Hey Kurt, why are deer eating in July and they don't touch my hosta really until July, August?" What happens is a lot of times with seasons with heavy rain, a lot of the natural forage that the deer eat grows so fast and so quick that the deer kind of lose taste. They don't like it. It's a lot more coarse, a lot more fibrous to them. Well, they come into your yard, you get a beautiful perennial garden here, Dave, and it's just salad bars open and they know where to come.
So Kurt, we're standing beneath an oak tree, and we were talking earlier that the acorns are really critical for the deer and make a difference.
They do. They make a huge difference. A tree like this can produce an overwhelming amount of acorns. Not every year, but some years maybe less, other years maybe more than you can handle. But acorns are a huge staple of whitetails' diet. They have calories, carbohydrates, and it's stuff like this that help them get through the winter and give them an extra boost and a little bit of more supplemental food. These, Dave, are known as mass crops, and deer just absolutely love them.
So in a year where there was a lot of acorns, because some years I noticed there's just so many all over the yard, and other years there's barely any, how would that play into whether the deer are browsing my yard or not?
Well, it'll certainly help. It'll reduce some of the amount of browsing. It'll reduce some of the amount of what the deer, if the deer really want to come into your yard and eat, it's gonna hold them back a little bit, okay, and keep them in the woods a little bit more and give them a little bit more to eat, because truthfully, Dave, they'd rather eat these than your plants in your yard.
Good to know. Maybe I could buy bags of acorns and just throw them around.
I'll rake some up for you.
Perfect. Kurt, we've learned about deer feeding at different times of the year. We've talked about some of the plants that they like to feed on. All right, the main thing is, how do we keep them out of our yards?
Well, there's a few things you can do. You can obviously put plants that deer don't like. People can plant boxwood in their yard, but that's not really practical. You can't put boxwood in every square inch of your yard. You want some texture, as you know. You can also do fencing. You can encompass the entire yard with fencing. It's labor intensive and it can get expensive. Or you can spray, Dave, which is very cost effective.
So Kurt, let's talk about that spraying. Let's pick up on that because the fencing's fairly obvious.
With the sprays that we use, we have a product that we switch off every couple of months or every season. There's 4 different types. So what happens is deer can get used to one product very fast. With our products, just as they're getting used to one product, we switch it around, which really throws them off course.
So the products you use when you have a truck and you come in and you're spraying with the tank like we're seeing, what's in that stuff? I realize it's proprietary mix, but what generally, is it safe? What about kids, pets, all that stuff?
Yeah, Dave, it's completely safe for pets and kids. We use soybean oil, Dave, as a sticker, and what that does is that helps adhere the essential oils to the plant. There is some egg product in the plant that actually ferments on the leaf and causes the almost rotting egg smell that the deer don't like. It makes them pretty much take your property off their checklist for a place to eat.
Kurt, thank you very much. This was informative and also hopefully helpful to you folks to know that if you do have deer eating your plants, there are some solutions that are out there that can help you preserve that beautiful yard. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.